It is 5 o'clock on your Monday morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and welcome to a wet Monday morning.
A little bit of patchy fog as you're getting out the door for that morning commute. Like we were talking about not that long ago, you may even encounter a little bit of that annoying mist. Do I put the windshield wipers on? Do I not? But the fog is not terribly widespread this morning. It's mostly out in parts of the Cumberland Plateau.
Now, we'll end up around 40 degrees this afternoon under mostly cloudy skies. We'll have more with Stefano coming up throughout the morning. Well, there has been another stabbing on a commuter train in Charlotte, North Carolina. This happened on Friday when a man who had been deported from the U.S. twice pulled out a large knife and stabbed another man with whom he had been arguing on a train. 33-year-old Oscar Solorzano was charged with attempted murder, and he'll appear in court today. The victim is still hospitalized. Now, the stabbing comes just a few months after Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska was stabbed to death by a man with a long history of crime and convictions. Now, the Friday stabbing got the attention of President Trump, who posted on Truth Social, quote, "Another stabbing by an illegal migrant in Charlotte." Democrats, he said, are destroying it like everything else, piece by piece. Luigi Mangione back in court today. This is the evidence that can be used against him during his state murder trial.
1 year after Mangione allegedly gunned down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, the hearing has put the 27-year-old face-to-face with the police officers who arrested him. Prosecutors plan to call 2 more police officers on Monday, including the patrolwoman who allegedly searched Mangione's backpack without a warrant. Defense lawyers have argued her actions violated Mangione's constitutional rights and should justify excluding any of the evidence found in the bag, including the alleged murder weapon and writings that prosecutors say amount to a confession. Peter Haralambous, ABC News, New York.
Market numbers now brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
The average price for a gallon of gas is now below $3. That's the lowest it's been in more than 4 years. That's according to AAA. Crude oil prices are also on the lower side, around $60 a barrel. AAA says the low cost at the pump is because of low demand and cheaper winter blends of gasoline. Dollar General says it's going to open about 450 new stores across the U.S. That announcement made during their quarterly earnings call. The company's reporting a rise in sales and foot traffic as inflation continues to drive Americans to search for better deals. Looking at the week ahead, the Federal Reserve front and center. On Wednesday, the central bank announcing whether or not they're going to adjust interest rates. Over the last few days, Fed Chair Jerome Powell has signaled support for another rate cut, but some members of the Fed have indicated they'd like to see the rates stay right where they are for now, so there's still a bit of uncertainty. Dave Packer, ABC News.
And right now, the stock futures are on the plus side, really not by much. The Dow futures are plus 12, NASDAQ futures gaining 63, S&P futures are up 9 points. That's the latest news. Stick around for your traffic next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Well, we're looking at no big deals on the roads this morning. Looks like we have it's a little wet. Remind you about that. It is a little bit wet this morning, but the roads are looking good. No problems on 24. 40 looks like it has no delays at all. Same thing for 65 coming in from the north. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.506 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Excited it's Monday. Joan, aren't you excited it's Monday? Sam, we're all excited and happy to be here.
Amazing, yes.
A Monday, December 8th of 2025. Woo. Can I get a woo-hoo for Monday?
Woo-hoo.
Did you guys hear what happened at Tim Pool's house? All right, so real quick. If you haven't been keeping up with the whole Candance Owens thing, I'm going to do a whole big thing later on in the program. But Tim Pool is a podcaster, and he has been coming out hard against Candance Owens and all of those, in my estimation and in my opinion, ridiculous and absurd accusations and allegations against Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk, and so forth regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. I mean, conspiracy theory, I think, doesn't even describe some of the silly things that she's saying. But Tim Pool has been, one of the biggest critics of Candance Owens. And so we've noticed here at WTN, I've certainly noticed, and Chris got a few phone calls on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, talking about Candance Owens as well, and about how the whole thing just sounds absolutely crazy. The people that are supportive of Candance Owens, not all of them, but some of them are extremely passionate, let's just say. Shots fired at Tim Pool's house on Friday night.
This is insane now. This has gone to the insane side.
You said he's a Marylander, so I guess he lives in Maryland. So
I think it's Maryland, yeah.
Okay, so on Friday night, I guess, he is either, I don't know what he's doing. I think he was actually doing a recording, a podcast, whatever it was. And somebody drove by his home and shot 3 shots into or at his home. I don't know if nobody was injured, so I don't know exactly what happened, if their bullets, whatever, went through the wall, whatever. I don't know. But he said that on Friday night, shots were fired at his home. Luckily, no one was injured. He has contacted the authorities. I don't believe that he has come out and blamed Candance Owens. I don't believe that he has. Nor am I. But I'm telling you that this is the level of insanity. I don't think that with what is going on between Tim Pool and Candance Owens, I don't think that it is a surprise if it turned out to be one of her, incredibly passionate fans. By the way, she herself, I would be willing to say, would say, no, that's not what we're going to do. No, supporters, we're not going to shoot anyone. And I think that, as much as I don't like or support Candance Owens, I would not ever say that she would encourage that kind of behavior. That being said, I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not going to live on this topic in this segment. There's a lot that I want to get to. But you know what I think? So remember what Tim Pool said. Tim Pool and others have said this as well. When he came out and he talked about how because of Candance Owens, the Republicans are going to lose the midterm elections and perhaps in 2028 as well because of Candance Owens. That is what he says. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to play this real quick because I want to make sure that you hear the full context. This is Tim Pool, and he was talking about Candance Owens and her impact on the midterm elections and also 2028. This is Tim Pool. Listen real close to what he says.
And she is a scumbag, okay? And she's getting worse every day. We're going to lose the midterms. Then we're going to lose in 2028. And it's because she's a piece of shit. She says the stupidest, retarded crap. And now everybody's running around divided and broken.
So there you go. So that is what Tim Pool has said. Very controversial, of course. Hey, Sam, let's do a Daily Dan poll real quick. Do you believe that Candance Owens' accusations regarding the assassination of Charlie Kirk, will that lead to the Democrats winning the midterm elections and 2028? Do you believe it'll have an impact on the elections? Is this a Democrat-run psyop? You know, like a psychological operation? You know what I'm talking about? I think that's what they call it. Where the Democrats are actually employing or working with Candance Owens to divide the Republican Party. Because it is dividing the Republican Party. So this has gone beyond bickering between influencers. Now, at least according to Tim Pool, it could influence the midterm elections and 2028 as well. Have the Democrats and George Soros put Candance Owens up to this? Because none of this makes sense.
This is the description of what this could be that makes the most sense. It makes sense if this is what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I think that she was scorned by the Republicans. Mm-hmm. She was fired by Daily Wire. She clearly not a fan of Ben Shapiro. And then she was evidently, it seems like she was also scorned by Turning Point. And so I think this is part of, Candance Owens getting some sort of revenge. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And I think that is especially true, it seems like, of Candance Owens. Because she is not bringing any evidence. And as you heard on Friday during Chris Hand's show, I think we talked about it too, where Turning Point said, all right, Turning Point, let's, Turning Point said, let's go, Candance Owens. Come on in. We'll talk about it. You're going to face your accusers. And then she hemmed and hawed and decided not to go and so forth. And so that's all part of the storyline where she said, anytime, anywhere, any place, right? That's what she said. And so then Turning Point came back with a time and a place, and she said, oh, no, I can't do it that day. So there's the moving of the goalposts, which we've talked about, where she said that it was Israel. She was, implicating Israel, and then she went on to Egypt, the Egyptian planes that supposedly have been tracking Erica Kirk, and I guess that's what she was saying. I started reading it up on all this. She has been saying that Egyptian airplanes have been tracking Erica Kirk for the last couple of years and that they were present at the Utah airport the day of the shooting. So she is suggesting that there is some sort of foreign involvement. She also claims there were multiple shooters. She is saying that things don't add up. She claims that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by those within leadership at Turning Point, and she is accusing them effectively of suspicious behavior and a cover-up. And since Erica Kirk now leads Turning Point, Erica Kirk is being thrown in as that suspicious behavior and part of the cover-up as well. She's also apparently thrown some suspicions at the Utah Valley soccer team for wearing hoodies the day of the shooting.
What does that have to do with it?
I don't know. She also, of course, as I mentioned, implied that Israel or Israeli donors had a part in the assassination, implying. See, that's the thing. And she now claims, by the way, that her critics want her killed.
Including the French government.
Including the French government. Macron. Emmanuel's wife, whose name is? Brigitte, yeah. So, I mean, it just, all of this seems ludicrous. And none of this, it's all sort of implied. You know what I mean? All of this is sort of implied, and she'll tell you on the next podcast, what's really going on, right? So my thing is, some of this stuff may be real. Who knows? You folks know, if you've listened to me for a long time, I've always said that conspiracy theories or, people who are conspiracy theorists or called conspiracy theorists, they're usually the ones that have seen the truth first, right? So I'm willing to listen to anyone. But the problem is she's not coming forward with any actual evidence. It's all just sort of like these dangling implications and not exactly connected ideas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she says, I know a lot.
She says, I know, and my sources.
Exactly.
Well, okay. But that doesn't mean that there's any evidence. That doesn't mean that you have any proof or you've given any proof. And again, maybe she has it. But to me, it just if you believe in what Tim Pool says, which is that this is going to cost the Republicans the midterm elections in 2028.
And she is a scumbag, okay? And she's getting worse every day. We're going to lose the midterms. Then we're going to lose in 2028, and it's because she's a piece of shit. She says the stupidest, retarded crap, and now everybody's running around divided.
There you go. I don't know. Joan, you think it could impact the midterms or the 2028? I do believe that it could. I think that it could, because this has the culpability, or the possibility, I should say, the possibility of dividing the Republicans, just like Epstein.
Which is insane to me, that it's gotten this far, that it could actually put a divide in the Republicans, that she has the power to do that, and that this stupid line of thinking has actually gained footing. It's crazy stuff that we're arguing about. It
is crazy, and again, all I would ask is just bring some evidence. That's all. Like, right. Okay, so do you have, I don't know, flight logs of these Egyptian planes? How do you know that they have been tracking Erica Kirk? What exact evidence do you have that the people at Turning Point are betraying Charlie Kirk, and that they are part of this cover-up? I mean, you know, just because they don't agree with you, I would say to Candance Owens, just because they don't agree with you doesn't necessarily mean that they're part of some cover-up. It just means that they don't agree with you. And so I feel like the whole thing where she refuses to go and debate the issue to the faces of the folks at Turning Point by going there, flying there, and being right there in Charlie Kirk's studio and facing your accusers, I think that she has lost, in my opinion, a lot of credibility, and all she has to do is say, oh, well, they were going to assassinate me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, she lost me in the wake of his death by saying that in their conversations, he'd thought about converting to Catholicism, and she had pointed out that it was the one true faith or whatever. And it's like, if you listen to anything Charlie Kirk ever said,
that was absolutely
I'm like,
question.
You're kind of self-promoting here, Candace, and it honestly gives airs of, the girl that got left at the dance.
Yeah.
Like,
I
she's
think
jealous of Erica to a degree.
Maybe, I guess. I really don't know. But all I would say is that, and by the way, what are people saying on the super text line as far as, do they believe, or I should say the YouTube Daily Dan poll, what are people saying? Do they actually believe, do they agree with Tim Pool that it could impact the midterm and the general election?
68% say no, they don't believe it would impact it.
68, so 32% say that it could. Mm-hmm. And I believe, my official talk show host opinion on all this is that I believe that it could. I believe that it could. This is starting to reach, Epstein-like. Now, here's the thing. I want to make sure that I'm clear on this. I believe that there has been, some cover-up of Epstein, where they're just, for whatever reason, the power brokers in Washington, D.C., and a lot of these folks, they don't want all of this Epstein stuff to be released. The Democrats haven't cared about Epstein for years and years and years. Our own Senator Marsha Blackburn, she was very passionate about getting all of the Epstein material out, but there are a lot of folks that didn't want that to come out. Finally, the Republicans and Donald Trump, they're demanding that the Epstein files or the materials actually be released. And so that is ongoing. But there's a lot of people within the Republican Party or the conservative movement that have been, sort of frustrated that the Republicans, their energy wasn't matching the energy of those that wanted to see the Epstein files released. So, you do have that aspect of it too. So I think that it could, because I think that the elections in the midterms and in 2028, they could be very close. And if they are very close, and then you have this whole thing lingering about, how there are many perhaps politicians that they start getting wrapped up into all of this. You got, I don't know, congressmen or senators or whatever, and they're asked to comment on the allegations of Candance Owens. Then all of a sudden they're wrapped into this whole thing, and that could have an impact. So I don't know. I think this could be a Democrat psyop. I don't know, maybe she's getting bankrolled by Soros or somebody. I don't have any evidence to that effect, but I just don't know what other solution there is to the answer to all of this is, unless she is just truly a sociopath and a narcissist and all of those other things that people have been saying. I don't know. Yeah, there are people on the super text line. They're all over the place, by the way. I'll read some of those coming up. It is a 5:21. Oh, did we do traffic? We didn't do traffic.
Yeah, because there is none. Don't
All right,
worry
good.
about it.
Very good. You guys go Christmas shopping over the weekend?
No.
Amy dragged me by the ear.
Yeah.
Amy dragged me by the ear candle smelling.
Oh, see, that's fun.
At Bed, I think it's Bed Bath and Beyond or Bath, whatever it is.
What one do you like
Well,
the
I
most?
was about to say there's a difference. Bath and Body Works is classy.
I think it was Bath and Body Works. Yeah, they were having like a big candle sale, and so we, Amy and I, we were definitely candle sniffing all weekend long.
Isn't it great? Did you put anything in your house? Doesn't it make it smell like the balsam smell? Oof.
Okay,
Love
so here's the funny thing. We walked out of there with like several $100s worth of candles. I know. Sam just gave me a cross-eyed look. I know. Several $100s of candles. Amy's got a very big family, and so she has to get everybody a little something, something, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, candles are good, yeah.
So all of Amy's families who may be listening right now, you're getting a candle.
At least it'd be
Enjoy
a nice
it.
one.
And you know where they all are? They're all down in my basement. So you can imagine how my basement smells.
How
Anyway,
confusing.
522 on Nashville's Morning News. I got all those different scents in there, right?
Right.
522 on Super Talk 99.7. Jones got the news at 5:30, Joan.
Yeah, there could be a court hearing today for Kilmar Abrego Garcia. We'll tell you what the government wants for to include in their evidence. That his lawyers are saying no way. We've got that story coming up here at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
527, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and good morning to you. Are you daft or just new to politics? Is on the YouTube chat. YouTube chat. Owens was a household name long before now. She alienated herself with her ridiculous claims and is now desperate to be relevant again. Well, I know all that. I mean, Candance Owens, I would play her audio on my radio show all the time. I was a huge fan of Candance Owens. Other people are saying, why are you talking about Candance Owens? You're only making her more relevant and her claims more relevant. I'm a little radio show host in Nashville, Tennessee. Trust me when I say, friends, overall scheme of things, I am literally nothing compared to some of these other people that we're talking about. But do you know that whenever I am out and about and people, see me, friends or whatever, people are asking me about Candance Owens. So I actually said to my wife, I said, wife, I don't know, should I just continue to cover this? Like, should I cover this with the usual zest and zeal and fervor that I usually cover the other things? And you know what she said? She said, clearly, this is something that is important to our side of the aisle. If people are talking to me about it and people are asking me about it and people are hitting me up on social media about it, then obviously this is something that I perhaps should be discussing. And so I feel like I kind of have to. If I don't, I'm off topic. Do you know what I mean? Now, all that to say that, yes, I do understand other people saying that, she is desperate for relevance and all that kind of stuff. Well, she's got the #1 podcast now, apparently beating out Joe Rogan, according to one Chris Hand. So I think she's got the relevance. I mean, her views and subscribers and all that stuff has absolutely ballooned. So for Candance Owens, mission accomplished. But for me, I'm going to continue to say that if you believe that this could impact the midterms and 2028, like Tim Pool says, then you could make the argument that this is some sort of a psyop by the Democrats working with Candance Owens, maybe bankrolled by George Soros one way or another. I don't know. But that seems to me to be the only thing, at least as I'm looking at this situation, it's the only thing that seems to make a modicum of sense. I have no idea if she is a sociopath or a narcissist, or well, I think she's a narcissist, but whatever. But all I'm saying is that there's a lot going on with this story, and if she's got the evidence, she should bring it forward. As she said, name the time, name the place. And then when Turning Point came back and said, okay, this is the time and this is the place, she said no, can't do it. She said, I guess, that she would do it over Zoom, whatever. It is 5:30 on WTN.
It is now 5:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A little mist on the windshield this morning. Here's Stefano.
You're off to work this morning. The chill is here. The cloud cover is here. This is something, though, that's very seasonal for this time of year. Waking up in the 30s really isn't all that out of the ordinary. This afternoon, the clouds, they stick around. So we're really going to have a tough time even getting back to 40 in some spots, but we may try to sneak to the lower 40s in one or two areas.
And right now we have a little fog or mist, and it's 40 degrees. There may or may not be a hearing today in district court in Nashville for illegal alien Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Channel 4 is reporting that this evidentiary hearing will take place today as attorneys on both sides are disputing whether certain evidence will be allowed at his human smuggling trial here in Tennessee. Here's Julian Bukovac.
As of this morning, the court has received about 190 government documents, all stored under seal. Any new evidence will also be sealed moving forward.
Now, the evidence at the center of the government's argument includes allegations that Abrego Garcia exchanged inappropriate messages with a minor. His defense team argues that the evidence is unrelated to the charges and could unfairly prejudice jurors. Now, it's not clear that this hearing will actually take place. There was a court order that shows the hearing for today and tomorrow was canceled on Friday. A showdown over presidential power today. The Supreme Court is set to hear arguments on whether the White House has the authority to fire the leaders of independent federal agencies without cause. A ruling in President Trump's favor would overturn 90 years of precedent.
Congress designed those agencies to be free from direct supervision of the White House, to be bipartisan, to be independent. And key to that is that members can only be fired by a president for cause. Donald Trump says that is unconstitutional, that presidents must be able to remove those members at will.
That's ABC's Devin Dwyer reporting. That is the latest news. We've got your traffic just ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Got a trouble spot on the eastbound side of 24 this morning. The off-ramp to Spring Street, Ellington Parkway. That's exit 47A. There's a crash there, and the off-ramp is partially blocked off. Looks like it's slowing down on 65 heading in this morning from the north, right around the Goodlettsville area. 24 starting to pick up some delays now, too. 40 looks good so far. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.537 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. All right, so real quickly, y'all know what we're doing. We have decided to buck the company. We are not playing their company-approved Christmas music because it sucks. We have been bringing in our own Christmas music. And so every day, last couple of days, coming back to the 35 segment, I'm playing mine at the 5:35. I think Joan plays hers at the 6:35, and Sam plays his at the 7:35, and then Chris plays his at the 8:35, and we do a bit of a review. By the way, I have been spoken to by the company about
spoken
this.
to as in quotes, like you've been spoken to?
No, I was actually spoken to.
Okay.
And they told me I should probably not say that the company's Christmas music choices were sucky.
But you did anyway.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Anyway, so this is mine. Go ahead. 3, 2, 1.
He's Tim Walz, retarded governor of the year.
You're welcome.
Come on! He's the crappiest governor of them all. As Somalis invaded, corruption evaded, as Minnesota falls. He's Tim Walz, most retarded governor of them all. See you in jail, retard.
So there you go.
Nice.
You like that? See, I like that one.
We don't use the R word anymore, Dan.
No. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
I feel like I have no choice but to utilize it. I will never use it myself because I don't like that word.
You'll let somebody else sing it.
I'll let somebody else.
I'm going to be blaring this with the windows down.
If you're going to put it that way, Joan, make me feel all bad and all. No, I just, here's the deal. It is now part of pop culture. This is the thing, is that it is now part of pop culture. Have you seen what's going on? Oh, my goodness gracious.
Where?
Online.
Oh, people roasting Tim Walz over his statements?
So you remember, and I don't have it. I don't have the audio because it was full of expletives. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see the video, to the song that we just played, oh my goodness gracious. So just like they took a whole bunch of video of, Tim Walz prancing around the stage to Dancing Queen.
Yeah.
They've got this, and there's also, I think, a line or two that I had to edit out because it wasn't appropriate for radio. But there's video to it. Check me out. Check out my X feed, at DanMandisShow. Because the video, when you couple the video with the music, it is really funny. Now, you remember last week Tim Walz said, "Oh, people are driving by my house and they're calling me a retard." So he never should have said it, because now people are just driving incessantly near his house or in front of his house, calling him a retard, and they're posting it online. So now it's a social media thing where people from all around the great state of Minnesota are driving in front of Tim Walz's house and calling him a,
Have you seen the AI clip that someone made at the press conference?
No.
It's him reaching for a giant maxi pad and wiping his face. It looks way too real. It's the
Don't
problem.
feed the trolls, man.
I mean,
that's what Tim Walz did. But here's the thing: he makes it so easy.
And that song, it's just this Martin Scorsese, the meme, absolute cinema.
Yeah, and when you think about the fact, here's the crazy thing: Kamala Harris, she decided that this was the guy that she wanted as her running mate. who has now turned into a national joke. It's very funny.
Somehow more of a joke than she was running for president.
Well, the problem is that, number one, you've got all of the mannerisms and the, tampon Tim, he wants tampons in the boys' room. The jokes just write themselves, but then you couple that with a very serious Somalian fraud, immigration fraud and otherwise, the funding fraud from the COVID funds. You do all of that, you incorporate all of that. It's a very serious issue because they're talking about, some people are saying this is up to $2.5 billion. $2.5 billion in Somalian fraud.
Some people are alleging closer to 10.
Yes, some people. I don't know what the actual number is, but it's a lot.
Now they're posting about it, proud of it, that they ripped off the U.S. government.
Oh yeah. You're right. They're very proud of it.
Hey, did you see the guy this weekend, the Somali that peed on President Trump's star?
No, but I'm not surprised. What, that in Hollywood?
Yeah.
No.
Openly,
just whipped it out, and
peed on a star.
Well, can I tell you? I've been to Hollywood, California, right?
Yeah.
Many times. That's pretty much par for the course. People are urinating all over Hollywood. It is part of Hollywood. If there was a candle,
so gross.
If there was a candle made of the scent of Hollywood, it'd be urine. Just like if you made a candle out of the scent of San Francisco, it'd be a poo-poo.
Oh.
Do you know what candle? We were talking about candles earlier, just real quickly.
Yeah.
We were talking about candles earlier, and I'm going to have to ask Amy where exactly it was that we went. It was like Bed Bath & Beyond or some place like that. And so I'm so oblivious, to be honest with you. I just follow along like the obedient husband that I am.
The way it should be.
They have candles now scented for chips and salsa.
What? Why?
I don't know, but they do. They have chips and salsa.
Did you smell it? Does it actually smell like that?
It smells exactly like chips and salsa.
That's weird. It's a weird scent.
I think they have, if I remember right, they have Doritos scented candles as well. So now they're making candle scents out of food. Now, why would you do that? Because then you're always going to be hungry.
It's the butter waffle ones that get me.
Butter waffle ones?
There's like a butter maple syrup waffle candle, and I'm like, ah.
Wow, that actually sounds good.
So we went, and of course, people, true to form, making fun of me for candle sniffing. But you know what?
Better than marker sniffing.
Nothing beats the smell of a good Sharpie at 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
Joan, back me up on this.
I love it.
Are you a Sharpie sniffer? I knew I liked you, Joan.
I try not to do it in public.
Just make sure you don't, hit the tip of your nose.
Right.
That is a sure.
Giveaway.
See,
Yeah.
Sam, you telling me you don't like the scent of a good Sharpie at 5 o'clock in the morning?
I'd prefer the smell of gasoline.
Okay,
Sharpie
whatever.
would be secondary to that.
Oof. I've talked about this before. Amy loves the smell of a freshly dead skunk.
Yeah.
It is so bizarre.
It is bizarre.
It is weird. Oh, my goodness gracious. Sam, I know she's not up. Can you Google, is there a candle made of freshly dead skunk? Let's face it. If they're making Doritos-scented candles, which smell horrible, it wouldn't surprise me if there is a candle of freshly dead skunk.
Skunk-themed candles exist, ranging from novelty items
Are
with
you
funny
kidding
names
me?
like skunk hugs to odor eliminator candles designed to neutralize skunk spray.
Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to get Amy. I'm going to get Amy.
Humorous names like Stinkerbell or skunk wearing a frown.
Okay, I'm going to have to get one that actually smells like dead skunk.
She's
Dead
gonna love
skunk
you
spray.
for that.
You know what? Nothing says love like
That's
dead
right.
skunk spray candles. That's what I'm saying. That's right up there with something that plugs in. All right. Anyway, moving right along.
So on the Somali front thing, I don't know if it recirculated back in y'all's feed, but the Muhammad gentleman that sexually assaulted that woman on the front steps of a church here in Nashville.
Raped her to death.
Yeah. Somalian.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we covered that
Illegally
at the
in the
time.
country,
Arrested
Somalian.
16 times
Yeah.
for sexual-based offenses in Nashville and was released. And apparently the only thing that was stopping them from releasing him this time was an ICE detainer.
I mean, this is what they're allowing to happen. This is what they're allowing to happen, whether it's, here in Nashville or across the country. And it's not just Somalians. I mean, everybody is focused on the Somalians, deservedly so, by the way. But, I mean, you can talk about, all of the illegal aliens and the people that have come into our country. Because the Somalians that we're talking about in Minnesota, they are here. I don't know. It's always like a sticky wicket because they're here. You have to air quote it, right, Joan? Legally.
Right.
But I'm air quoting it legally because they're here. Many of them are here based on fraudulent circumstances, saying that they are married, but in reality, they're either, married to a brother, a sister, whatever it is. And that is well documented. Remember, we've covered all of this. The Somalians, you're talking about immigration fraud. You're talking about people that have come into this country and they were lying about the circumstances with which they have come in. So at least for me, it makes all the sense in the world that you should maybe call them illegal. But then all of the nitpickers out there, they're not illegal. Okay, fine. Then you can call them legal if you so choose, just like Joe Biden paroled all of those people into America. And now we're dealing with trying to get rid of all of these people and send them, back to where they came from. But bottom line is, because of the Democrats, they have created just an absolute abhorrent mess with all of these Somalians. And, you've got all of these, whether we're talking about the Somalians, you could talk about Venezuelans, you could talk about Hondurans, people from, just go on and on. But you got the corrupt fingerprints of the Democrats all over this. I went through this the other day. I don't want to belabor the point. Apparently I'm going to. But California, you got all those illiterate, oftentimes drunk truck drivers that have come in from places like India, California, giving them driver's licenses to drive 18-wheelers. We, of course, again, have the Somalian situation in Minnesota. We had that Somalian that raped that woman to death on the steps of a church. Just absolutely horrifying. Whatever happened to that guy? Do we even know? Did they let him out? They couldn't have let him out.
No, because the Muhammad
squared, yeah. What?
Let's find the square root.
No, he's still behind bars.
The square root is evil.
Amen to that.
Yeah, the square root would be deport him. But yeah, because of the ICE detainer specifically, he's only being held on a $75,000 bond.
Now, Soros, that's pocket change. That's pocket change for George Soros. Back pocket at that. All right, very good. 5:50, Nashville's Morning News. By the way, people want me to replay. You want to replay real quick that song, Ode to Tim Waltz, Christmas Ode.
See, I did want to preview it because I wanted to be surprised, and boy, was I pleasantly surprised.
All right, so go ahead and play it again real quick. And you two top this.
He's Tim Waltz, retarded governor of the year. Come on! He's the crappiest governor of them all. As Somalis invaded, corruption evaded, as Minnesota falls. He's Tim Waltz, most retarded governor of them all. See you in jail, retard.
It is still, Joan. Are you feeling as uncomfortable as I am about the R word? I really do feel.
No.
You don't?
No.
You no longer feel?
No.
You and I talked about this last week. We were simpatico on the awkwardness of, utilizing the term retard, but now it's
awkward, but I feel like it's one of those things that the left has just had a handle on. You can't say this word, you can't say that word, and I feel like
Fair.
Hands are off now. Like
Fair.
We can say anything we darn well want to say.
And just so we're clear, when we're using, just like the younger generation, when we're using the word retard, which I'm not going to continue to use all the time, but we're talking about people that don't have mental deficiencies or whatever you want to say, mental challenges, but who say and do stupid things.
Yes. Perfect. That was perfectly stated.
Thank you, Joan. It happens every once in a while. By the way, if you want to see the entire Tim Waltz, Ode to Tim Waltz, the Christmas song, find it on my X feed at Dan Mandis Show. If you want to watch us, please do on YouTube. You can also watch us on Facebook, X997WTN.com. You can watch us any time of the day or night. We are live 5 to 9 Central Time. Thank you for all the folks that watch out of state and out of town, sometimes even out of country, believe it or not. And you can also listen to us on any streaming app. All right, Joan's got the news coming up at 6. Joan.
We'll tell you why a nurse is facing some serious charges in Murfreesboro. What a story. We've got it coming up for you here at 6 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.556, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, we have a big show planned today. You know who we're going to speak with at 6:36? Hans von Spakovsky. Been practicing his name all day. And although it's so, for whatever reason, whenever I get the man on the phone, I always shank his name. Driving into work, I can say it 20 times perfectly. Get him on the phone, I shank it. Anyway, have you heard what they're going to do in Virginia? with gerrymandering. They are going to gerrymander in Virginia to the point where Virginia is going to be like another Massachusetts, where there may be literally zero Republican representation in Congress if Virginia eventually does what they may, or what they're talking about, which is gerrymandering all of these various districts for Democrat rule. So they're talking about one way where they might have zero representation on the Republican side, maybe one, maybe two. But right now, it's relatively speaking evenly split. But they're talking about gerrymandering all of the Republican representation out in Virginia. Now, here's the thing. I believe that it's going to get to the point. Where you don't even need to bother to have general elections in these various states. States like if Virginia ultimately does what they're going to do, what we already see in places like Massachusetts and Illinois, where these districts are gerrymandered. And so this is going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And somebody said to me the other day, my liberal friend said, see what Donald Trump started? Really? You think Donald Trump started this? Please. Democrats have been gerrymandering long before the Republicans were. Now, Republicans are just catching up. And so now the Democrats are responding in kind. So the Democrats really were the absolute experts in gerrymandering. And now Republicans have started to do it as well. And the Supreme Court has sided with Texas. We'll talk to Hans about that. And so now we have what we're going to see in Virginia. And so this is the same argument, gerrymandering. This is the same argument as nuking the filibuster, I think, because Democrats, they were gerrymandering before the Republicans were. Republicans started it on their side. And now the Democrats are going crazy with gerrymandering in, Virginia and other states as well. All right, so since that's what's going on with gerrymandering, should the Republicans nuke the filibuster? Because I think that odds are the Democrats will nuke the filibuster once if they, Lord help us, end up getting control in the Senate. So we'll have to see what happens. By the way, did you see the interview, Joan and Sam, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Leslie Stahl? Have you seen?
Last night, yes.
Holy, I've got audio on that. So Hans is going to join us at 6:36. By the way, coming up straight ahead, really good news for Donald Trump regarding polling. It is all straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News on WTN.
Six o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Hate to bring you the bad news first, but it's not going to be the nicest day weather-wise. Here's Stefano.
And it is a chilly start to our day today, going to stay pretty chilly this afternoon. We're waking up in the 30s, and there's not going to be a ton of temperature movement. There are going to be spots today that stay in the 30s, and parents, I would give the kids the umbrella to start off the day today. This afternoon, the cloud cover really is going to be tough to break. We'll try to top off today in the low 40s at best.
Yeah, so right now it's overcast and just 40 degrees. Really, it's not going to move very much today at all. In the news, a nurse at Ascension St. Thomas Hospital in Murfreesboro has been fired after being accused of sexually assaulting a patient. Channel 4's Braden Ross.
Police arrested 25-year-old Tyler Butcher at his home just after 9 last night. He's charged with kidnapping, sexual battery, prevention of emergency services, and indecent exposure.
Now, the hospital is saying that in a statement that they're treating this with the utmost seriousness and sensitivity, and they are cooperating with investigators. That nurse is scheduled to be in court in February. President Trump just became the first president to host the annual Kennedy Center Honors in Washington.
Sylvester Stallone, Kiss, and Gloria Gaynor, Michael Crawford, and George Strait all honored for their influence on American culture and the arts. They received the first redesigned awards, featuring a navy blue ribbon which replaces the iconic rainbow one, which the White House described as tacky. The Kennedy Center saying the new blue color represents dignity, and tradition.
That's ABC's Alan Kosick reporting. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com.
One last chance for an interest rate cut before the end of the year, with the Fed set for its final meeting of 2025 starting tomorrow. On Friday, the averages wrapped up their second winning week in a row. The Dow Jones rose 104 points to close just below 48,000, while the Standard & Poor's tacked on 0.2%. The Nasdaq picked up 0.3%. PG-13 rated horror films don't normally do well in December, but Five Nights at Freddy's 2 may have broken the mold. The film, starring Josh Hutcherson, raked in $63 million nationwide and another $46 million at foreign theaters over the weekend. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Stock futures are all pointing up this morning. That is the latest news. Traffic is coming up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 6:02 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. The best financial move you can make this time of year. How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR? That is the lowest rate in years. How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home's equity in the process? Listen, friends, you can do this with Loan Pronto. Now, with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. That's right, Loan Pronto is here for you. Now, one homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their credit cards and a couple of car loans as well, and saved $2,100 a month. So don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act right now. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780, 615-499-5780. Find them online anytime. LoanPronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. 615-499-5780. Tell them Dan told you to reach out. See how much cash you can get today. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
In Jolton, watch it on Whites Creek Pike at Lane Hollow Road. There's a crash involving some injuries. Southbound on 65 heading in. You've got some delays starting in the Goodlettsville area. Delays also beginning on 24 in the westbound lanes in the Laverne area. 40 looks okay so far this morning. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.606 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And welcome on in to your Monday, December 8th of 2025. Today, mostly cloudy, chilly, high of 40. Going to feel like 34. Thanks for listening to Nashville's Morning News. Some good news about Donald Trump and some polling. Now, you know that people on the left, anti-Donald Trump, they love to talk about how Donald Trump has been tanking in the polls. And so I think that it is important to give the other side when Trump is actually starting to rebound. And I have felt this coming because I think that the Trump administration, number one, I think that they are focused on affordability. They are focused on the messaging. And I do believe, as I said all last week and the week before, that the best is yet to come. 2, not 1, but 2 new polls show that things may be turning around for the president. Regardless as to how you feel about polling, it is worth mentioning the president's approval rating among millennials, those between the ages of 29 and 44 years old, is up 3 percentage points. Now, that's the good news. Now, he's still underwater. He now has an approval rating of 39% among millennials and a disapproval rating of 54%, but it's going in the right direction. Now, this is an Economist YouGov poll. They say that millennials are the largest age group. Did you know that? The millennials voting bloc, the largest age group. Baby boomers apparently, sadly, dying off. So here now come the millennials, their most important issues. What are the most important issues to millennials? Affordability, debt, being able to afford a home, mental health and burnout are up there as well. And the question is, okay, well, then why are they burned out? They're burned out because they're struggling to pay the bills. Their student debt is way up there as well. They've got a degree they can't use. They've got a job either that they can't stand or has nothing to do with their degree, so on and so forth. Millennials also worry about AI and job displacement and healthcare access and medical debt. That's number 7. So those are the most important issues that millennials are worried about. And Donald Trump is taking steps to handle all of these issues for the millennials and for all Americans. As far as healthcare access goes, he wants to fix Obamacare by shoring up who is on it. But also remember that Donald Trump is working with HHS to lower drug prices in line with most favored nation status. That is huge. Allowing Americans to import cheaper drugs from Canada, also huge. He lowered the cost of insulin. That's what Donald Trump did. That is also a very big deal. Of course, all the tax breaks and the big, beautiful bill. So President Trump is taking measures, is taking steps to try to help millennials and all of the American people. Now, Scott Bessent, and I love this for a lot of different reasons, but Scott Bessent was on with CBS and what is that? Face the Nation. And they're talking about Donald Trump and they're talking about everything that is going on in America and the economy. And Bessent was on there talking with Margaret Brennan about Trump's polling and the economy. Listen to this.
I think the president's frustrated by the media coverage of what's going on.
Just as the polling of average Americans.
But I think the average Americans, they are hearing a lot of it from media coverage. And I will tell you that the affordability has 2 components. There's inflation, and then there's real incomes. Real incomes are up about 1%. And what we're not going to do is say that Americans don't know what they're feeling. We've been working on it every day. I was on your show on March talking about affordability. We've made a lot of gains. But remember, we've got this embedded inflation from the Biden years.
I mean, yeah, that is most certainly true. Although we are getting to a year into the Trump administration. So the further we get from Biden, nobody really wants to hear about the embedded inflation from Joe Biden. Certainly nobody on the left or the media, but it's all in the messaging. Because I do believe that while there are some challenges and there are some things that need to be improved, things are getting better. There is still work to be done, but things are slowly turning around. We've talked about them ad nauseum last week. Real wages are up. Gas is down, way down, the lowest in 4 years. But yes, again, some things need to be done. But they keep talking about this affordability problem. And, you know, listen, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he totally understands that there's some things that they can do to improve the economy, and they're working on it.
The Biden administration created the worst inflation in 50 years, and maybe for working Americans, the worst inflation of all time. And we have pulled that number down. That Strategas Research does something called the Common Man Index. Under Biden, the accumulated inflation number as measured by CPI, was about 20%. Their index showed 35. This year, for the first time, the Common Man Index is below the inflation index because the basket of goods for working Americans, food, gasoline, rent is coming down. So I wrote an essay March 12th, 2024, and it talked about the 3 I's: immigration, interest rates, and inflation. Mass unfettered immigration, depressed wages, caused housing prices to go up. President has closed the border. That is fixed. Interest rates have come down. The bond market just had the best year since 2020. And now we are working on inflation, and I expect inflation to roll down strongly next year. I think.
All right, so that is Scott Besson. You heard him mention, Joan, have you ever heard of the Common Man Index?
I am not.
This is actually really interesting. It's not an official government statistic or index, if you will. This was done by some financial group, but it focuses on what families must buy, right? So not the niceties, things like televisions and vacations.
Or smelly candles.
Or
Right? Right. Go on.
You know what, Joan? Just for that, I'm going to get you a skunk-scented candle.
I can't wait.
For your Christmas gift. Anyway, but what a family must buy: food, groceries, gas, utilities, insurance, clothing, kids' clothing usually, and housing. And so you heard him mention that the Common Man Index is actually getting a lot better, according to that metric, a lot better under Donald Trump after the disaster that it was Joe Biden. Now, there's always going to be a lot of debate because I think people always say, well, you've got, it is the economy and it's just numbers. But y'all know that you can look at the economy, and some of these folks will look at the economy and they'll try to skew the numbers to whatever political bent they are. So if you're a Democrat, you're going to focus on the parts of the economy that are not doing well. And if you are a conservative, then you're going to focus on things that are going well for Donald Trump. I've always talked about real wages, and their cost of gas is a no-brainer. And I did find this this Common Man Index was really interesting. So I mentioned not one, but 2 polls that are now looking good for Donald Trump. This is from the Daily Mail. President Donald Trump's approval rating has nudged up as economic headwinds have eased, according to the latest Daily Mail poll. The president's rating jumped from 45 to 47% between November 21st and December 4th, according to the most recent Daily Mail JL Partners survey. Now, the 2-point increase over the past weeks comes as prices have stabilized, and I've been talking about that. As prices have stabilized and spending records were set over the Thanksgiving holiday, despite concerns over an affordability crisis, which Donald Trump has branded a Democrat scam. Do you hear the numbers? I mean, the numbers are constantly updating. You hear what the numbers are up to now with Black Friday and Cyber Monday? Holy mackerel. Black Friday and Cyber Monday both broke online spending records over the Thanksgiving weekend. $44.2 billion was spent online alone, according to an Adobe Analytics report. That is huge. That tells you that, and I don't know what the latest numbers were on consumer confidence. I'm air quoting that. Consumer confidence. But that tells you the Black Friday and Cyber Monday, with all of those people, all of those consumers consuming, that tells you that they do have some confidence in the economy. They say the rosier results also appear while the national average for gas prices dipped below $3 per gallon for the first time since 2021. Do you know there's a gas station by my house? They're selling gas for $1.99.
Wow.
$1.99.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's like they've got one of those little, I don't know what you call them, like placard signs.
Yeah. Out
proudly on the corner. $1.99 a gallon for this gas station. Nonneville and Saundersville Road. That's if you want to find it. If you're in Wilson County, Nonneville and Saundersville Road. That's where this place is. They say the rosier results appear on the national average for gas dipped below $3 a gallon for the first time since 2021. According to AAA, the average remains significantly below the median prices for 2022, 23, and 2024. United States GDP is also looking its strongest since Q3 of 2023, fueled by increased consumer spending, according to a recent Bureau of Economic Analysis report. In other words, things seem to be looking up with the economy. And if don't give me, consumer confidence reports and all of these egghead economic numbers. What are people doing? And what are people buying? How are people behaving financially? And if, Black Friday and the Monday, whatever Monday is, what is Monday? Cyber Monday. And Cyber Monday, people buying all of those things. Clearly, if you look at the spending habits, people are feeling pretty good about the economy. Time to check the roads on WTN. All right, as far as your weather goes, mostly cloudy and chilly, high of 40 degrees, feeling like 34. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News. Hey, let's do a real quick, if we could. Sam, can we do a new Daily Dan poll? Figure out a way to do it, because I'm on the air and I'm Omaha'ing over here. Just how do people feel about the economy? How are they feeling? Strong, sort of strong, medium, whatever. You figure it out. But I'm just kind of curious as to where the audience is right now as we have, surpassed Black Friday and Cyber Monday, heading into the holidays. And certainly if you missed the 5 o'clock hour, my wife's crazed candle purchases. People are feeling pretty strong about the economy. And certainly I think it was Bed Bath & Beyond, wherever it was that I was in. I mean, that place was absolutely packed. All right, now, real quick, Joan, let's play some audio from Marjorie Taylor Greene. So she was on, you know what happens, right? So somebody comes out against President Trump, and then they get all kinds of media coverage because, you are now what some people would call a unicorn, where you are a Republican who is now willing to go up against Donald Trump. You know what's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She was calling for the Epstein files to be released. She has now decided to quit the Republican Party, I guess. And has she actually quit being a Republican? Has she gone to an independent, or she just decided that she was going to quit Congress?
I don't think she switched parties.
No, I don't think she switched parties either. I think she's still a Republican, but she just decided that she didn't want to deal with Congress anymore and Donald Trump. Basically what President Trump did was he said, okay, I will support anybody who comes out against Marjorie Taylor Greene if you want to primary her in the next election, heading into the midterm elections. And so she just decided that she was going to step aside. So she is now talking a lot about Donald Trump, bagging on the president a lot. She was on with Leslie Stahl and 60 Minutes last night, and one of the things that she said is that Republican members of Congress are laughing at Donald Trump behind his back. Listen.
Behind the scenes, do they talk differently?
Yes.
How?
Oh, it would shock people.
Well, let's shock people.
Okay. I watched many of my colleagues go from making fun of him, making fun of how he talks, making fun of me constantly for supporting him, to when he won the primary in 2024, they all started, excuse my language, Leslie, kissing his ass and decided to put on a MAGA hat for the first time.
So that is number one. Now, believe it or not, I don't know whether you folks believe it or not. I don't. I think that there's some people within the Republican Party that kind of roll their eyes and they get frustrated with the president sometimes because, and I've said this before, nothing new. Send your hate notes to, Dan at 997WTN.com. I do get frustrated with the president's messaging at times, and especially when he calls out the Republicans for their inability to message, but whatever. But I don't know. I think the Republicans probably talk about their frustration with the president. Do I believe that it is as bad as she makes it sound? No, I don't think it's that bad. But for Marjorie Taylor Greene, she needs to do whatever she can to get some publicity and get some airtime on places like 60 Minutes. Let's see here. If this is is that a video? Nope. Let me play this other one too. This was a great moment. Did you see the moment where she and Leslie Stahl, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Leslie Stahl, started going back and forth on being toxic? Did you see this? This is great audio. So Leslie Stahl goes after Marjorie Taylor Greene and said, "You've been very toxic." Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene looks right back at Leslie Stahl and says, "Well, you have too."
It's the most toxic political culture, and it's not helping the American people.
But you contributed to that. You were out there pounding, insulting people.
Leslie, you've contributed to it as well with your own program. Yes, you're accusatory, just like you did just then.
I know you're accusing me, but I'm smiling.
You're accusing me.
I am accusing you.
But we don't have to accuse one another.
I want you to respond to what you have done in terms of insulting people, yelling at people, and then saying...
I'd like for you to respond for that.
I don't...
No, you can respond to that.
I don't insult people.
You do, in the way you question, and you're accusing me right now.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, look, Leslie Stahl has been part of the mainstream media for many, 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 many years, and she's also in her interviewing style with Donald Trump and then clearly with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Although, I don't know, do you think... Here's the thing. Leslie Stahl asking about the toxicity of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been very toxic. I mean, let's be honest. Some could say, she's a truth teller. I would say that she's a truth teller. I think that she also responds to the hatred that she gets. And personally, I like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I obviously like Donald Trump. And so I feel like there's two people that I like a lot who are going after each other and butting heads. But for, Leslie Stahl to say, "Oh, me toxic? No, I'm not toxic at all. What about you?" Marjorie Taylor Greene has already apologized for her role in creating this sort of, toxic social media political environment. She's already apologized for that. So she's going to have to comment on this every interview that she has, because everybody's going to keep asking her the same question over and over and over again. But during this particular interview, I am absolutely team Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know a lot of people, especially listening right now because she's come up against Donald Trump, people hate Marjorie Taylor Greene. Totally get it. I understand. I think that she is an opportunist. I've always liked, though, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she knew that she was going to lose in a congressional primary when she went up against Donald Trump. And I think that she does want to run for governor. I don't think she'd have a chance in hell of becoming the president. I don't think that she would win a Republican primary in the presidency. But she wants to run for either Senate or governor for the state of Georgia. I think that she might actually have a shot. It is 6:24 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Joan's got the news at 6:30. Joan.
Coming up here, the left is stuck on those drug boat strikes. We'll tell you what they're demanding of the president now. Also, what President Trump just did that's making heads explode all over the country. Those stories and more at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. Appreciate it. Dan Mandis here. Imagine if your Wi-Fi was a lot smarter. That's right. Picture it. Your TV, your phone, your laptop, even that fancy fridge working together to make life easier. Well, Xfinity makes that dream a reality. Devices so in sync, you'd think that they are telepathic. Really smart Wi-Fi that knows when your devices need a boost. This is the best equipment to stream 4 games at once with multi-view and Xfinity Mobile that gives you Wi-Fi where you need it and 5G everywhere else. That is the magic of Xfinity. It is seamlessly in tune with you. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. I've been a customer with Xfinity long before I was an endorser. This is a great company. You ought to check them out. To get started, call them. Visit Xfinity.com or drop into an Xfinity store today. Xfinity.com or drop into a store today. Dan Mandis here, Mark Spain Real Estate. Listen, you can spend your time with those who matter most this holiday season and sell your home the easy way with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. No showings, no open houses, and the best part, no stress. Now, I always recommend Mark Spain Real Estate to my friends here in Nashville because I can trust they are going to sell their homes hassle-free with a strong all-cash offer. As a matter of fact, the Wall Street Journal and Real Trends both have consistently named Mark Spain Real Estate as a top real estate team in America for closed transactions for 9 years in a row, including being ranked the #1 real estate team in the nation for 5 consecutive years. Mark Spain Real Estate has been helping homeowners sell their homes for nearly 30 years, and yes, they have served over 72,000 satisfied clients. It is all part of that guaranteed offer. Find out what the guaranteed offer would be on your home today. There's no obligation. Call them. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. It is the easy way to move. And yes, you can move when you want. 855-299-SOLD, 855-299-SOLD, or find them online anytime. It's markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Good morning. It is 6:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. New calls from Democrats to release the full video of the September 2nd airstrikes on a suspected drug boat in international waters.
Growing pressure on the Trump administration to release the full video of those September strikes on an alleged drug boat that killed 11 people, including 2 people who initially survived. Congressman Jim Hines, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee who has seen the footage, says the attack could have violated international law. Republicans defending the attack.
Yeah, ABC's Nicole D'Antonio there. Republican Senator Tom Cotton, in fact, is the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. He says on NBC's Meet the Press over the weekend that the survivors looked at one point like they were trying to flip the boat back over, presumably to rescue its cargo and to continue their mission. President Trump is realigning free days at national parks to strictly patriotic days to include President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, you get the picture. Those days are staying, but now Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth are no longer free park days. President Trump's birthday is now a fee-free day, and that's made some heads explode. Historian Manisha Sinha works at the University of Connecticut.
No sitting president has had their birthday declared as a free day in the park.
Yeah, however, June 14th is the president's birthday. It's also Flag Day. A couple of weeks ago, the Trump administration also raised the fees for visitors who are not American citizens or permanent residents.
When did this come out, Joan?
Yesterday. Yesterday, he said.
You know what? I think he enjoys trolling.
Oh, I definitely think he does.
You know that he's just like, hold whatever he doesn't drink, but hold my beer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because his birthday is also Flag Day.
Yes.
So, so he's got that going for him. Oh, my God. And he's using it.
So
yeah,
funny.
he's really trolling.
All right, moving right along.
Okay, so for the first time since being named the interim head coach, Mike McCoy has won a game for the Tennessee Titans. They beat the Cleveland Browns 31-29. Now, this follows 6 straight losses for the Titans. There are still 4 more games to go this season. That is the latest news. Traffic is coming up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Dan Mandis here for my friends at Contours. Listen, holidays are here. Christmas is here. What do you get the person that has everything? How about the gift of self-improvement with Contours? Now, check this out. Right now, they're offering both their Tennessee famous Belly Buster special and a facial to battle those fine lines, both for just $149. Now, friends, that is a huge savings. Now, both their Belly Buster and facial treatments are powered by cutting-edge and effective red light technology. Now, this red light therapy can help you lose inches across the middle and, yes, those fine lines on your face. And right now, again, you can get both for just $150. A Belly Buster treatment and a facial. That, my friends, is a great deal. You are going to save a lot of money. So the first 10 callers right now, 615-236-9960, get that special price of $150. Again, 615-236-9960. First 10 callers right now, you can get this, of course, for a loved one or for yourself. Cutting-edge, effective, FDA-cleared, non-invasive red light therapy. Get a Belly Buster special and facial treatment for just $150. First 10 callers right now, 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960. Find out all about it, ContoursLLC.com.
crews are still working that crash in Jolton this morning. It's on Whites Creek Pike at Lane Hollow Road. It involves some injuries. May take a while. Coming in on 65 this morning, pretty slow at the Goodlettsville area. It is also slow on 24, backing up a little more now from Laverne into Nashville. 40 is looking okay. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.637 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, you know what we're doing. We are currently heading into Christmas, bucking our company-mandated Christmas music with our own. This is Joan's selection for today. What in the world?
Honestly.
Really, Joan?
If you don't know,
I don't know.
You don't know.
No, I don't know. Real quick, because Hans von Spakovsky is on hold listening to this hijinks and shenanigans.
I bet he knows.
You know what? I bet you Hans von Spakovsky actually has no idea what this is.
I think
Should
he
we
does.
ask him before you explain it real quick?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Could he hear it on the phone? All right, hold on. Hey, Hans von Spakovsky, we're here to talk about gerrymandering, but did you hear that music we were just playing?
I did, but I can't tell you what it is. I was just thinking, what's my favorite fun Christmas song? And, you know, like most people, it's probably got to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That was definitely not that, right?
No.
Okay.
Joan, in 25 seconds or less, because we got important business to talk about with Hans.
You have to watch the movie White Christmas to understand.
White Christmas from what, like 1912?
Oh, come on. It's a classic.
Hans, so
classic.
Joan doesn't know anything hip. And her version of classic is like old and dusty. So that anyway, thank you, Joan.
Yes, you have to watch the movie. I encourage you to do it. It's one of the funniest scenes, and it has just a great that song has a terrific following just because it's so crazy in the movie.
All right, thank you, Joan.
All
as
right.
we ring in the Christmas spirit. And by the way, friends, if you want to watch us on Super Talk TV, you'll see my official Christmas sweater that I have on today as well. It is green. And speaking of old and dusty, Hans, I actually bought this without spousal approval. My wife actually said, she actually said, I don't like that sweater. And I said, why? And she says, because it looks horrible on you. I love the sweater, and doggone it, I'm going to wear it.
I like that sweater. That's pretty nice.
Oh, Joan, thank you. Wow, for once, Joan and my wife actually disagree on something. All right. Back to business. All right, so Hans, real quick, I want to talk about Supreme Court redistricting and everything else that's been going on. First of all, there is a meme, and I'm showing it on Super Talk TV, but I'm going to read it. Gerrymandering, Massachusetts, 36% Republican, 0 seats. Connecticut, 42% Republican, 0 seats. I mean, it goes all the way down. You got Maine, New Hampshire, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Vermont, Hawaii, and Delaware, and percentages of Republicans and 0 seats. All states that have done hardcore gerrymandering. Tim Burchett, our own congressman, tweeted that, and so I'm going to assume. I know some of that is correct. I have not fact-checked all of it, but does that sound, relatively speaking, right to you?
Yeah, no, because I have actually looked at that, and he's right. Listen, Republicans are amateurs compared to Democrats who are professionals at partisan gerrymandering. And in blue state after blue state after blue state, they have engineered the congressional districts so that so the Republicans have zero representation, which is why this whole fight in Texas, where the Texas legislature changed just a small handful, and so the Democrats still have congressional seats. I just shake my head at the irony of it and the way the media has covered it, or I should say miscovered it.
Oh, what a great way to put it, miscovered it. I mean, I believe that they are intentionally lying or just sort of narrative peddling, which is we know what they do. The Democrats, the Democrats are the ones that really started to do this gerrymandering. Was California the first place where they really started doing this hardcore?
Well, yeah, but what people ought to be complaining about really is California. Because remember, California, the voters there years ago got tired of the partisanship of the gerrymandering, and so they voted to transfer the power from the state legislature to a so-called independent redistricting commission.
Yep.
What they've now done, is taken the power back from that independent redistricting commission because they're basically saying it wasn't partisan enough. So if there's anybody in the country ought to be criticized, it's California, not these Texas legislators and legislators for doing what they did.
I feel like, and there's some people, we have a text line here, Hans von Spakovsky, Heritage Foundation. We have a text line here, and people throw in comments and questions, and they come straight to the studio, 615-737-9986. I would give my own real definition of what gerrymandering is, but I've got somebody who I think you've actually written, books on this and written articles on this. So can you go ahead and give us the easy to, just so people know and catch up, can you give me the official Hans von Spakovsky easy to understand definition of gerrymandering?
Well, gerrymandering is when legislators, state legislators, draw up political districts to favor their political party. So if they're Republicans, for example, based on prior voting patterns, they probably want at least, 55% of the eligible voters in a particular district to have a history of having voted for the GOP. They are tempered in doing that in some states by the fact that there are laws in place that say that, districts have to be, for example, compact. They have to keep counties together. They can't be these really bizarre shapes. But in places like Delaware and Massachusetts, they don't care about that. That's how they got to 0 GOP seats, despite the fact that Trump got a good percentage of the vote in last year's election.
What's interesting too, Hans, is that this is so funny. The left-leaning critics of gerrymandering will say that Republicans are doing it based on race and not any other reason. You always hear like race-based gerrymandering, but it's not based on race per se. It's based on, votes and where people are living. I mean,
right.
do I have that right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And in fact, that's one of the problems in the law in this area is too many judges fail to distinguish between politics and race. Look, if Republicans, for example, are drawing up districts to favor Republican voters, the fact that 95% of black voters vote for the Democratic Party means that just based on voting patterns, they may end up, the black voters, all in one particular district. But that's not because of race. It's because of the way they vote.
Exactly. All right, 6:45. Coming up, Hans, we're going to talk about what's going on in Virginia. And part of my question is, as all of these different states are going to begin to gerrymander, really this is going to ultimately become, what's the point of voting in a general congressional election? Because everybody knows how it's all going to turn out. More with Hans von Spakovsky straight ahead, 6:45. Time to check the roads on WTN. As far as your weather goes, today for your Monday, mostly cloudy, chilly, a high of 40. Going to feel like 34. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News. So, Hans, let's talk about what is going on in Virginia. I don't know what the current congressional makeup is in Virginia, but the Democrats there are talking about gerrymandering there to the point where the Republicans may only end up with 0 or maybe 1 or 2 congressional seats.
Yeah, because, Virginia is one of the handful of states that has off-year elections, not the same as the federal year. So we just had elections in Virginia. Democrats swept the state. They now have control of the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and the legislature, and they've already moved to do the same thing as they did in California.
Yeah.
Revoke the authority of the Independent Redistricting Commission that they set up a couple of years ago in order to do exactly that, to wipe out the GOP presence in the congressional seats in the state. And again, you don't really hear anybody in the mainstream media complaining about that or saying that, oh, that's somehow unfair. They just keep concentrating on Texas, and yet Virginia Democrats are moving to basically wipe out Republicans completely in the congressional delegation for the state of Virginia.
Well, right now, Hans, they have a 6-5 congressional representation, and it could go to 10-1. And so
Right.
I don't. This may be an unfair question to ask because it's a pretty. I don't know. I'm asking for a lot of detail here, but how many after this? How many states will be left that actually have fair congressional